Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Derek from Certified Legacy. Today I will be showing you how to make the most out of an iPad 2 in 2025. So what I have planned for this video is I'm going to show you how to downgrade to iOS 6 or iOS 8, and then I'm going to go through all of the perfect jailbreak tweaks that you're going to want to fix everything. And some of the stuff you'll probably not need if you're running iOS 8, and I'll explain if you need to downgrade to iOS 8 instead of iOS 6, which will probably be a bit more slower, but it really depends on which iPad 2 you have. So like if you have like a newer model iPad 2, you probably won't be able to downgrade to 6. So therefore some of these tweaks will not be needed, and I will go over the ones once we get there. But yeah, let's go straight into this. Your iPad 2 is a newer model. Is the easy way to find out for an iPad 2 is you go on the back and you look like where your serial number is normally, and if you see EMC2450, then you cannot downgrade it to iOS 6 because it is a later production model. In my case, mine is EMC2415, meaning it's an iPad 2.1 and is downgradable to iOS 6. So that is all of those things that you'll know if you actually want to downgrade it. So the other thing we're going to do next is I'm going to show you how to jailbreak to proceed with the downgrade, because that will be needed to do KDFU, because unless you want to get an Arduino, if you already have an Arduino, but most people won't have an Arduino. So we will be using KDFU to pwn this to actually downgrade it to iOS 6. So we need to be jailbroken first, of course, so let me show you that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what is next. So you're gonna need a Windows computer or a Mac for this part, and what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna go to this site right here, Koshi something, Koshi 9, okay, and you're going to get this IPA right here. So anyway, you're going to go in here and you're going to hit install on this IPA. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to open up this page called Sideloadly, and I'm using Windows in this case. I'm not doing it on my Mac, and actually you can use it on Sierra and higher, which is pretty cool. So you'll need that, and you also need iTunes installed for this part for it to actually recognize your device. So anyway, go in here and you're going to install Windows 64-bit download or Mac OS download or whatever one you want here. So you're going to do that and you're going to install Sideloadly. And also, this is why I kind of want to make a follow-up to like a lot of these other channels that have been doing videos on this. It's been a bit different the way everything has changed. Apple's cracked down on sideloading, so you can't sideload from the web anymore, and the activation issues for A5 have started, so you're now going to need to use activation records and stitch them so you can actually stay activated when you downgrade to iOS 6. So yeah, once you've installed all of this, I'll show you the next part. So anyway, once you have Sideloadly all up and running, you of course will see your iDevice connected up here, and you'll need to actually put in your Apple ID to proceed. I don't think they log any of this, so I think it should be fine. So just put your Apple ID in here. I'm going to blur mine, of course, and then once you're here, you're going to add the IPA. Okay, so now that you've added the IPA file, you can just hit start. I'm going to do that quickly, so make sure it pops up here. And actually I have to put in my password, so let me do that. Okay, so I noticed some things that you will need. So my problem, you need to log into your iTunes with your actual Apple ID as well. And you will also need to temporarily disable your antivirus because it will just fail for some weird reason. So let's just do that. Also, I believe because it says it's untrust, you have to go into device management under general, and you have to trust your Apple ID. Hit trust, and it now technically should open. And here is where you hit jailbreak. Okay, technically we should have Cydia now, and you can see we have Cydia, and there might be a chance you get a boot loop. So if you get a boot loop, just go ahead, hop into iTunes and restore so you don't get out of that boot loop. And here we are. So you always hit complete upgrade always, and when you install Cydia, so you go and hit confirm. I'll come back to you when this is all done. You see, you are not done here. This is the whole reason we installed this. We're gonna go in here, we're gonna open up open SSH and Cydia, just search it up, and you're gonna hit install, confirm, and it will now install OpenSSH, so give it a minute. Okay, now it says return to Cydia. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to install core utilities. So you're going to hit install on this. You dismiss that. Should ask to reboot or restart your Springboard next. Okay, now it actually says return to Cydia. So there's no need to restart your Springboard here. We are all good to move on to the computer and give it a restore. So if you do not have it installed already, what you will need to do next is you're going to go and search up Legacy iOS Kit. I will of course leave a link for this down below. So you're just gonna head here, Legacy iOS Kit, and you're gonna find packages, or releases I mean. And you're gonna give it an install. And once you've done installing it, and you're going to drag, you're gonna open up Terminal obviously, and you're going to be using this folder a lot, so make sure to keep this open. You're gonna go drag in restore.sh. Normally this will ask you to install Xcode. I've already installed Xcode, so there's no need for that. So just install it. It might take upwards of maybe 1 to 40 minutes, depending on how fast your Wi-Fi is. I have very fast Wi-Fi, so I should be good, and it should be quick, but I've already done this, so it doesn't matter. So next part, you're going to actually use your 30 pin. You need an authentic 30 pin, by the way, one from Apple, which are not too hard to find, and plug it into your iPad. And now you see it should be recognized on my device. Make sure you hit trust if you need to hit trust on your device, and now you can hit enter. It might ask you to do this, so I just say yes. Hit update now. Okay, so now that you've updated, you're going to drag in re.store.sh again. Okay, and now that you are here, you're going to go to MISC utilities, and you're going to hit activation records, and you're going to use the jailbroken method because we've already done this. So it should now it'll ask you to enter your SSH root password of your device, which is just Alpine, ALPINE. It will not show you putting it in, but it will actually be in there. So hit enter, and it should go into KDFU in a minute. I'll just leave this here just to show you. So, okay, so you're going to drag restore.sh back into the terminal like usual. As you can see, it says existing activation records detected, activation records stitching enabled, which is what you want. So we're now going to hit restore, downgrade. Here you can either pick 8.4.1 or iOS 6.1.3. I recommend 6.1.3 for optimal stability and performance. So you're going to hit 6.1.3. You can download the target IPSW, which I'd recommend. And it should take a bit of time depending on how fast your Wi-Fi is as usual. See, it's out of 794 megabytes. And actually, the whole entire reason this even happens, why you can downgrade to 6.1.3, is, funnily enough, Apple still signs it, and that is the whole entire way you can do downgrades. So, for example, recently, when iOS 26 came out, iOS 18 quickly became unsigned, and you cannot downgrade to it anymore. So here, that means you can't downgrade to it, but iOS 6.1.3 and 8.4.1 are signed for some reason on A5, I believe, and it's quite weird. I don't know why, but you can downgrade to it completely untethered, no tether or anything like that. But that doesn't mean you can do it for every single other version. Like 7, you can't downgrade to, or any other version of iOS 8 or iOS 9 you can't downgrade to. It's just because it's unsigned. Same thing for why you can't downgrade to iOS 4, but you can dual boot iOS 4, I believe. Actually, I think Legacy iOS Kit has it built in with the 4boot utility. But yeah, anyway, it's now going to get the hash from the IPSW here. Okay, and now you're gonna hit start restore. And here you're gonna hit jailbreak, which I would absolutely recommend if you actually want to use it on 6.1.3, so hit yes. Memory option for creating custom IPSW. This really does not matter. I think mine is not. It only depends on if you have 8 gigs or higher. If you have 8 gigs or higher on your PC or your Linux or your Mac or whatever, hit yes. I don't. I think I have 4 gigs because this is like a MacBook Air, so hit no. I'm gonna hit no in my case, I mean. Okay, and now this is where you would usually use an Arduino, but we're doing it the normie way, aka not using an Arduino, so hit KDFU. And it will now try to find it here. So actually, you're gonna hit SSH root again, ALPINE. Okay, and it shall go into KDFU in a minute. There it goes. And as soon as you hit black, that means you're in KDFU mode. Oh, unplug and replug your device as usual. Make sure you do that. You gotta do that quite quickly, or it might fail. It might fail in my case. I'm gonna try it here too. So yeah, failed to find it in KDFU. So just do it over. I'm just gonna follow the same process, where if you wanna get out of it, you just hit the power button and the home button for like a good amount of minutes until the Apple logo pops up. See? Also, I forgot to mention this is a semi-tethered jailbreak for iOS 9, so that means you're just gonna have to go pop back in here. Since mine rebooted back, you're gonna go hit jailbreak for the second time here. Okay, so unplugged it and replugged it back in, and now we are restoring, so I'll just leave this on a time lapse as it does this. Also I wanted to add, when you're doing this, it's showing up that part, that is completely normal. Anyway, like, back to the time lapse, by the way. Okay, it is now done restoring. And here, it should have automatically stitched the, whatever they're called. As you can see, it completely activates it because we use the activation tickets and we're just onto location services. So you're gonna hit no, of course, for me at least. I don't know what you're gonna think. Set up this new iPad. You can skip this because it's not gonna work unless you get certificates. Agree. I'm gonna say don't send. And there you go, you're on iOS 6 and you can start getting that nostalgia here. So, also I want to do a little thing about Cydia here. because you might be new to this. So it's gonna prepare this file system when you open up Cydia at first, always. So let's say preparing file system, Cydia will exit when complete. It will do this, and it might respring your whole entire device sometimes. That's what it usually does. I don't know what I'm saying, sometimes. So let it do that, and it should be good after a minute. Okay, as you can see, it's rebooted, and Cydia should now work. Okay, so once you're successfully downgraded to iOS 6 or 8, now let's get into the next steps. Of course, on those last steps, you must have been jailbroken when you did the restore. So this is the rest of the video, basically just going over best jailbreak tweaks for iOS 6, basically. So yeah, let's do that. So one of the first things you'll notice upon restoring to iOS 6.1.3 is you, of course, will have Cydia. And when you go into Cydia, it'll be preparing for file system, and then it'll respring itself and it'll reboot. And then you'll go into Cydia and it won't work at first. So what we're going to do about this is we're going to go into Safari and we're going to search up this site right here, tlsroot.litten.ca/. So then what you're going to do basically is you're going to get signed iOS bundle, iOS 5 Plus, install now, done. And now Cydia will be functioning. So what you can do from here is you can install tweaks and stuff. And what we're going to start off with is fixing the App Store, which is very easy on iOS 6.1.3. But of course, I'm going to not just stop there. I'm going to have a ton of other tweaks that I would recommend that you install. So one of the first things that I would recommend you install is SSL patch. We're going to install both of these at once, which we can do with continue queuing. We're going to do SSL patch. So we're going to do install continue queuing. It's going to install all of that, including like substrate safe mode, which you'll need in case your thing like freaks out because you installed a bad tweak or something. So we're going to do that. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go in here and you're search up software update killer. This is going to cut off all like over-the-air updates, meaning if you do want to update this back to like 8.4.1 or 9.3.5, you're going to have to connect it to iTunes, which I recommend this so your thing doesn't go asking you to update every 3 seconds. And actually, I didn't mean to do that. You can just install this now. So you're going to have Cydia Substrate, Software Update Killer, SSL Patch, and Substrate Safe Mode installing all at once. So you're going to hit Confirm, and now it's going to go through this. And then you can just hit Reboot Device, and yeah. Okay, once that is done, you are now going to head back into Cydia again, and we're now going to install all of these following tweaks, which I will all recommend. You do not need LukeZGD's repo, just automatically does this. So yeah, starting off with Electamon's repo, which is yzu.moe/dev/, and then you just hit add source and let that install. Next thing I recommend to install is the Nekokawa repo, which is Cydia nekokawa.net/. I'll let you take a second to put that in and just hit add source. Let that install. We're gonna add the SkyGlow Cydia repo, aka cydia.skyglow.es/ hit add source. Let that install. We're now going to add the bag XML repo, aka xml.com/ here's the repo. Now you're going to install it, hit add source. Next one we're going to add is aoiblog.jp/ here it is, add source. And the last one we're going to add is cydia.inboxyplaygames.uk/ here it is, and I'm going to hit add source. And now that we have all of these repos installed, we're not even going to bother opening them. We can just go use the search thing in Cydia, and it's going to be very easy from going on forward. So, yeah. First thing we're going to do is to fix the App Store. And if you've somehow signed into your Apple ID already, which you may have, sign out for this next part because we're going to need that to sign into the App Store. So, of course, this App Store fix is not the best way to get apps, and I will be going over better methods, but this is kind of just for show, and I feel like you guys would want to see this first, so I'm going to do this first. So let's do this. Go into the search part of Cydia, and you're going to search up AppStoreFix. Right here, you're going to hit modify, install, and as you can see, it actually pre-installs all the stuff that you will need here because we installed all of those repos at once. But there is going to be one that I recommend also to add. So we're just gonna hit continue queuing for now on. That being store layouts fix. And now we're just gonna hit install, and you can see all of these at once. You're just gonna hit confirm. And now it's gonna install every single one of these tweaks at once. And of course, for this part, you're gonna hit yes because you're going to need this to log in. So hit yes. Don't worry about going to activation loop because you're on iPad 2. This you are already activated. This part is just going back and to set up that app and relogging into whatever basically. So you're gonna see your Wi-Fi as you just hit next, set up this new iPad. And here you're going to sign in with an Apple ID, and you're going to put in your Apple ID. And how this works exactly is you're going to put in your Apple ID and your password, and it will not work at first, and it'll say that your password is wrong or something, and it'll send a verification code to your phone. And what you're going to do basically is you're going to add that verification code to the end of your password, and it's probably going to take you to another verification screen. I'm not sure, but if there is, I'll show you. Just going to hit agree after doing that. And it's going to set up your Apple ID, and I'll come back to you when this is done, as this will take a little bit. Oh, and actually it didn't take very long. And what you're going to do is you're going to use your iCloud. You can back up to iCloud. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to say back up to iCloud. Why not? I'm not going to really be putting much on this iPad. I have other things that are better on 6.1.3, like an iPad 4. And now, you technically don't even have to do that part to actually fix the App Store. You can still get through this stuff like right here. Of course, the App Store is not fully fixed and it's quite buggy, and that's why I don't think it's very worth it and stuff like that. So, yeah, you can download everything from your already downloaded tab, basically, but I don't think it's very worth it. So, let's go into the better ways to actually install apps through other stuff. So, yeah. Through another cool thing called Viteris. This will be installed from the LEMMiNO's repo. We can just search this up right here, and this will install AppSync, which will allow you to use iphoneosobscura, which will be you also be using for apps that are not downloadable from Viteris, because there is quite a bit of them. So you're just gonna hit install, and you can see AppSync Unified is also installed, and so is Viteris, and you're just gonna hit install on it, and you're gonna follow the same exact steps. You just say, okay, I understand, restart Springboard. Okay, and then we're back onto the lock screen, and we're just gonna go into Viteris. And what Viteris is basically an alternate app store that has a way better selection of apps, and you can select whatever version of app that you want. So we're gonna do Subway Surfers, as this is an absolute classic, and I always pick this one. The one I like usually is probably like one of these 1.4 versions, not usually the latest. I'm gonna pick like 1.7.0. I think that's the one I have on my iPad 4, I'm not completely sure. And you can see, you go to queue, and then you see all this other stuff and it's downloading. And you can do this for pretty much any app that you want, and it'll just queue up in here. I think it's better. Viteris is way easier than iphoneosobscura, but it's missing some apps that iphoneosobscura has, because iphoneosobscura usually has a way bigger selection of apps, because they've been collecting apps way before the locator was on there. So anyway, you're gonna go to Subway Surfers now and see if it works. And by the way, some of these apps may not work, and that's nothing to do with you picking the wrong thing or something. Some of these apps just don't work for some reason, and you just have to pick a different one. Like this one's bugging out over push notifications for some reason. I have zero idea why it's doing that. So we're gonna download a different one. Hey, after tapping for like 18 minutes and messing around with it, it actually works. I have no idea what it was doing earlier, but you can see we have working Subway Surfers, and now I'm going to showcase iphoneosobscura, which is another way to get apps. And what you do is you're going into Safari, and you're going to add this address right here, iphoneosobscura.litten.ca/. And what this is basically is another way to install apps. So we're going to install something from here. Let's install like Minecraft, because why not? Let's do like the latest version of Minecraft for iOS 6. Let's do like, I always recommend proxy to install. These direct installs usually do not work. And just hit install, and it will just queue up like any other app store. Actually, I'm gonna up my brightness here so you can see better. And it just installs like anything else, and it's going to install directly from the website. And you can do this for every single app that you get from there, just like Viteris. So I'm gonna let this install come back to you. And it pretty much works like any other thing, like I just explained with Viteris. Well, some of these apps might not work. So let's test out Minecraft, because I've never played this version of Minecraft in like forever. I believe this is from like the 2014 iOS 8 days, or iOS 7 days, I'm not completely sure. That was kind of the era I played Minecraft Pocket Edition on, mainly back then. And yeah, it does look like that. Oh my god, this is very throwing me off for some reason. Why is the crouch button right there? Anyway, yeah, you get the point on how to install apps. And now, let's move on to some various tweaks I highly recommend. And I'll just go briefly over on what they do and why I recommend them. So the first one is not even from a repo, it's just called f.lux or flux. This basically just gives you night mode on iOS 8 through 5, and this is a must-need tweak. So I'm just going to do continue queuing on all of these. We're going to install all of these at once, because why not? By the way, I'm not going to showcase tube repair in this video. It might go back up online at some point, but currently it is not working. I'm not completely sure why, but let's continue. Next one I recommend is an absolute iconic tweak from the old days, aka Cylinder. If you've seen like the barrel roll type of tweaks where it like does the weird animations that you can select, this one, yeah, it's very cool. So we're just gonna install continue queuing this. I will be showcasing this after, of course. Next one we're going to be doing is Zeppelin, which basically gives you a option to replace the carrier little thing up here with a like logo or whatever you want. And you can even, there even is some packs in here from way back when that you can install. Some of them probably won't function, so keep that in mind when installing them, where they might not work, but it's whatever. So let's move on. And yeah, those are pretty much all of the other mixed tweaks that I would recommend you install. So you're just gonna hit confirm on all of these, and they're all going to install at once. By the way, there's some chances that you might get weird bugs where it like thinks it's like an iPod or something, and it just completely freaks out. I've had this happen before with me, and okay, you can actually see flux going in. What do you do in that situation if that even happens? But no, it didn't happen. So what that does basically, oh, you can already see the animations. So what that does basically, it makes your device think it's an iPod. I'll throw up the picture of what that happens, what it looks like when that happens on here, if that does happen. What you do to fix that basically is you're gonna go and you're gonna do a reboot, because you probably can't open up any apps. So you're gonna do, and you're gonna reboot, and on reboot you're gonna hit hold the volume up button like this, and it's going to boot into substrate safe mode. And what you do there is you're going to go into Cydia, and you're going to install Zeppelin and Cylinder. And because those are probably the two culprits that could be causing this, you can troubleshoot and figure out which one is causing that, but it really doesn't matter to me currently. So yeah, let's go over Flux first, what Flux does completely based on what I just did a second ago. So we're just gonna go into settings actually, and you're just gonna enable location services for Flux. You don't have to turn on Find My iPad, I don't really care about that. Okay, anyway, so you're gonna go into Flux, and now you have location services. You can just hit OK on that, and I will figure out when it is daytime and when it is nighttime. It'll automatically go into night mode, and you can further mess with this if you desire. Like at night, you can make it very light or very extremely like this. I kind of like it like over here, because if you do it too, I don't like halogen very much because I feel like it's not night mode enough. But if you go to like too like dim and incandescent, and everything just looks green, like let's go to the home screen. Yeah, it just looks very green. I don't really like that, so I'm going to put this at like incandescent personally. But yeah, daytime you can set it to whatever you want. You can set it to like very dark or very bright, it really doesn't matter. But yeah, anyway, so in Zeppelin you can find many themes in here that you can change the status bar to. Like you have like cloud, you have like dark night, but you can add more in Cydia, which you can just search up Zeppelin themes. There's like a million that I have on all my other devices usually. Like you can change it to Windows. I like some of the ones that are colored because I feel like they're not usually, I'm actually not even looking at it. You can see it's colored. I kind of like those personally, but I don't know how you would feel, but you can pick from any of these. Same thing with Cylinder, basically just go into effects. And by the way, do not select multiple at once because it will just completely freak out. So let's change it to like one that I like personally. Burst. What is Burst? I've never seen this one before. Whoa. I actually like that. What the heck? I actually really like that. I might have to put this on my other devices. That's actually really cool.
But anyway, that's what Cylinder and Zeppelin does. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. You can also sign into your other stuff, like your messages, by just doing the same exact thing with the password when signing in on your iCloud and messages. You can't fix FaceTime. FaceTime doesn't really work, so keep that in mind. You can sync music with your iTunes library by just connecting it to your computer with iTunes and just syncing up your library and stuff like that. So yeah, that is pretty much the whole video. I'll also do a same exact thing in 2026 with make the most out of iOS 6 in 2026. I have that planned, but this is kind of just a precursor to that video, just specifically for the iPad. I also plan on doing more of these device-focused, make the most out of videos, because this series is kind of what you guys seem to really like based on how well my videos on these make the most out of formats have done in the algorithm. So I'm going to be doing more of these, of course. I'm sorry this video took a while to make. I've been very busy with school lately and I haven't really had the time to go ahead and make a video, but I did want to make a kind of like return to form video where I do something that's kind of just what I normally do instead of just doing like a bunch of random AppStoreFix videos, which I've kind of been doing lately, or an unboxing, which I mean, those are already like my normal videos, but I kind of wanted to do something that was a make the most out of video, because I haven't done one in like 2 months and you guys really like those videos. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful and or interesting, please like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you're notified when I come out with brand new videos. And also share this to someone that might find this interesting and or helpful. This has been Derek from Certified Legacy, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Also check out my social medias on the end card right now.